Black Alpha Network. Power to the people.
Yes, indeed. Hey, by the way, a shout out to Sage, man. Thanks for giving me that. It's in the Jumbotron, everybody, that Michael Jackson, Prince, and James Brown. Make sure you look at that. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Watch it again. Watch it over again. If you have seen it, watch it as well, man. That shit was super duper solid, man. It's good seeing us all in the same space and our legends actually really putting it down. Brother Rich and then Brother John.
I don't know if I came here in late because I had to step out, but I did hear somebody, I don't know who it was, but somebody mentioned R&B. I don't know if you guys touched that topic yet, but if you don't mind, co-host and host, if I ask this question, who is the king of R&B? If you guys didn't answer that question already, who is the king of R&B?
I'm gonna let the family take that because I done already asked a bunch of tough questions, man, and I done reneged on my tough questions. Name one Michael Jackson song, so I'm not even gonna touch that one. I'm gonna let the family get that. Hey, before we go there, brother Sean, I want you to answer the question Richard said, and then go on and elaborate, family, and then I want to ask that to everybody.
Greetings, everyone. That was a beautiful story, and it was awesome to hear that story. That we are some talented folks and we have our own unique thing that we got going on and we do. Now, I will say, though, I got to tell you, no, but let me answer this question first. There is no king. There's no queen of soul. There's no king of nothing. Because when you reach a certain level as an artist, it's not a competition. You can't compare B.B. King and John Lee Hooker or Marvin Gaye and David Ruffin. You can't compare. Once you reach a certain level, it's just a different type of mastery, of artistry. There's no king. And so when you make someone a king, it's like saying that they're better than another artist who has reached that level. And that's what we need to know, is that it's a level that we reach. In fact, one of my teachers talks about he talks about that we have these 4 levels of apprenticeship, that he recognizes that in the ancient Dogon of Mali, they also have these 4 levels of apprenticeship. And the last level for them is astrophysics, because they know about the stars and stuff. But our highest level of mastery is in improvisation, but not just improvisation, but that's the highest level of our artistry. And we have masteries, and we also have an apprenticeships that, people will go and study with, play with a Beatzilla or a, John Coltrane, and you spend time with them. You can't learn this in a school. You can't learn it in school. You can get some basics in the school, but you can't learn this in the school. You have to be around the people that are doing this. So that's the thing. Now, here's the other thing. Because I come from my grandmother was born in the 20s, that I used to spend time with her, and she would watch the Lawrence Welk Show. So y'all don't even probably never even heard of that. But the Lawrence Welk Show was this white boy had a big band, and they would have a brother that would go in there. He would be dancing, and they have these sisters be. So I kind of grew up in a little bit, knowing a little bit about that. She listened to Louis Armstrong. She had all these albums. But what I learned from my teacher from the Congo is that Louis Armstrong, and I remember after he told me, I saw it somewhere in writing where he said his grandmother, Louis Armstrong's from New Orleans, his grandmother told him that don't ever forget you come from the Congo. And I met a brother that's my age. I met a brother who was born in New Orleans. He left New Orleans and moved to Arizona when he was about 13, 14. And listen, this is crazy. His last name is the same last name as my mother's maiden name. So my mother's from Opelousas, Louisiana. He's from New Orleans. And my mother's a Hamilton. Her dad was a Hamilton. This young brother, his last name was Hamilton. And he said that his grandmother told him, don't ever forget that we come from the Congo. And when he told me that story, I was broke, flabbergasted, like, wow. And he had the same last name as my mother's last name. And I found out that my ancestry comes from the Congo, and I actually went to the Congo. I studied Congolese music and dance. So that connection. So I'm saying that we've got our unique thing that we have, but what I've learned, and I can't recite exact people. What I've learned in these spaces, and I wish I had learned it well enough from other people who are old enough to know, and my brother probably here knows, Beatzilla, on the East Coast where rap music was being formulated, it was Bloods from the Caribbean involved in it, and from other places, African Americans or FBAs, whatever y'all want to call them, they were also in the mix in the forming of hip hop on the East Coast. That's what I learned, and I've been hearing these stories over and over again. I've been hearing the exact names and the people's names. I can't recite those names because I didn't grow up in that. I'm a little bit older, so I kind of missed that. But I know that there's been a major input in that. So we do have our, overlay of our thing on it, but at the same time, there's other influences. So to say that we totally and completely, I'm just saying it's interweaving going on. So yes, but we do have our my teacher says that we have our style. Like you could tell an African American the way he walks and the way he do his things. Now that can be also you people that grow up with us that's from Africa, from the Caribbean, they'll have that same thing too because they've been around us. But when you go somewhere, you go to Brazil or something, they know you from somewhere else. You Black, you go to Africa, they know you from somewhere else. Or you go to the Caribbean too, they know you from somewhere else. So we have that's in there, but we also have to recognize that there's interweaving of Black folks because we come from the same basic thing. And I'll land right there.
Real quick, let me correct something. When you said the Belizean Bloods and whatnot, remember when you bring them into the mix, those people are coming in after the fact. By the time that whole situation started taking place, hip hop was already in full swing on the East Coast, and I'm speaking from how it was formulating on the West Coast. Hadn't even made it to the East Coast yet. That's more of a later, I'd say 90s thing. Because now don't get me twisted. There were people from the Caribbean out here, and there definitely are Caribbean Bloods out here intermixed into these sets out here. However, most of those people never really left the West Coast. So when that started happening on the East Coast, that's more of a mid to late 90s thing. And hip hop was in full swing. Actually, we already had a West Coast music scene by that time. And I mean, truth be told, by the time that things was even really moving out there like that on the East Coast, we had already had Banging on Wax out here. So I mean, just to give you the timelines, I think might be jarbled up in your understanding. But yeah, at how it ended up, you would see a lot of Caribbean Bloods out there on the East Coast now. But no, back when we were growing up, no. So they were definitely. Go ahead.
Where did hip hop originate? Did it originate on the East or West Coast?
The East Coast, the Bronx.
So it originated on the East Coast. Okay.
New York City, the Bronx, New York. By foundational Black Americans. Now it ended up expanding. But see, we can't, we're talking about Michael Jackson, the king of pop, or i.e. the king of music. Michael Jackson is the sole creator of his sound. We can now not say that the people that experienced his artistry are now part of his artistry. No, they're part of the fandom. And here's where people start getting confused when it comes down to foundational Black Americans. When it comes time for us to be in our own space, owning our own works, a lot of people tend to feel some kind of way for whatever reason, I'm not sure. However, there is no Congolese artist that would ever be able to replicate what's going on here. Now, when I do know, and I've heard before, people coming from the Congo by way of slavery. And that's just by way of those slave ships. So yeah, if they might remember they're from Congo, but by the time that you would have been here now, You, yeah, your bloodline may be able to go back to Congo, but you are still one of us. So that's not really interweaving. That's still foundational Black American culture, and it is not influenced by anything outside of America, because this culture and this style of music comes straight from the fields and not the fields of another land. So we just have to always make sure we keep that in mind.
Okay, but let me just say this. I don't know about where you from. I'm from the West Coast, and my folks come from Louisiana. And my folks come from Africa. And Indian, African, French, and all that's up in my mix. But we had Juvees where my mother's from, and they do Juvees in the Caribbean, and they play slow music. When they take you to when you die, they play slow music with the marching, with the little band and shit. And then when they coming back from the funeral, they play fast music. My teacher from the Congo said when a person dies, they play slow music when they taking your ass to bury you, and when they're coming back from the funeral, they play fast music. They got Congo Square in New Orleans. So I don't know about you, but all I'm saying is that that African stuff is part of our stuff, and it is the foundation of some of our music, of our jazz and our blues stuff. And then you got the blues stuff. You got that's Mali. You got West Africa. You got the same sound.
That's gospel. Blues is gospel. Blues is gospel.
Right.
Stop.
But
Let's back up.
Right.
There's no beginning. There's no beginning outside of this land of Negro spirituals.
Okay, so again, like what I'm saying though,
None.
you talk about
No. We're not talking about anything but the seed, and the seed starts with the spirituals.
Okay.
So that ain't coming. That's so let's shut that down.
All right.
The Negro
older?
spirituals
is Negro spirituals.
Negro spirituals.
All right. So Negro spirituals is older than blues, you say. Now you still okay, so we'll start from that. Whatever that means, that when they play that banjo and the stylization of the music, the rhythms.
Okay, now let me stop you right there. I gotta go back to number one, the basics of the whole point. This is music. I wish Dewan B was here. Here's the one thing that I guess you did not learn about foundational Black American. And I'm gonna tell you the real simple. It's called 1-2. You know that here's how you can demonstrate what this is and where it does not belong or come from anywhere else. Put your foot down on the 1. Put your hands together on the 2. That is our culture, hands down. Nobody else can put their stamp on that.
Okay, well, all I can say to you, brother, is I studied dance and music. I've been to Africa studying dance and music. My mother taught me.
You've heard a room full of musicians. A whole room full of musicians just spoke, and now you're bringing in your teacher stuff.
No, well,
take that back to the Congo.
I studied that. So what I found is that when you talk about Lindy Hop, when you talk about blues, that you'll hear the same sounds when you go to Mali. You'll hear the same type of harmonic sounds, and the instruments that they play instrument that's like a banjo. They play that instrument. They got the same kind of. Then when you look at Lindy Hop dance, you'll see the same kinds of movements in Guinea, dances from Guinea and Mali and Senegal. What they call today, that was all. It was no countries back then, but those same types of movements, you'll see it in the Lindy Hop. So I'm saying, brother, and then the Congolese stuff, that's a whole.
Now you're going into. Okay, now I see what you're trying to do. Okay,
I'm just saying that's my
study.
That's my area.
I got it. I thank you. I got it. You know, now what you're doing is trying to intermix, and I get you're going to base everything on your teacher. Well, listen to a teacher teach you about American music. One thing that we are doing here, I just told you I open for print, so we're not actually debating your scholarship over anyone else's here. So we're telling you from the soil. This is where our music stems from. You've heard this room go on for about 4 hours now. And after 4 hours, here you come saying that all of what we had just witnessed from our entire lineage is different because your professor told you so.
No, it's not different. it's got to be.
By
It's
the
got
way,
to be connected.
we ran
It's
this
got to
guy
be
off the
connected
we
because
ran this guy off the block before. By the way,
it's got to be connected because you've got a
Ah,
Congo Square. You got a
Yeah,
place in
let's
North
go ahead. Let's
Orleans.
go ahead and
okay.
give
Yeah,
him
yeah,
up the
Shaw.
taste. Give
Yeah,
him
we're
up the
gonna wrap
taste.
you up. Yeah, we're gonna make it a wrap for you, Shaw. I see what you're trying to do.
Can I
No,
Black
speak on
no.
it,
evangelist.
brother? Can I speak on
Go
it
ahead.
real quick? Because
Go
I
ahead.
am a musician here in New Orleans, and I can clarify a bunch of this. This style of music that he's talking about is called the second line, and that derived from New Orleans, and it derives from gospel music. That's when you play the slow hymns in the beginning, and then you cut them loose. Then you play the fast hymns, something like such as "Didn't He Ramble?" That's foundational Black American history right there.
Right.
They're not doing that in Mali. They're not doing that out
You
there,
heard of
brother.
Congo Square in New Orleans?
I know about Congo
They don't.
Square,
They
and
don't sing just a
All
can
right.
I
closer
say
walk
something
with
about that?
thee.
There's a place.
Congo Square. Let me give you a little lesson on Congo Square. That place they named it Congo Square because that's the first. And I'm from the Treme, by the way, one of the blackest neighborhoods in New Orleans, in America. Period, flat out. But that was the place where when the slaves was off on a Sunday, they could go there and do trading and dance and play music and have fun. They just named it Congo Square because some Africans was here, but this music you're talking about is foundational Black American.
Right.
That's what actually all music kind of stems from this style of music that I play right now today.
Right.
And I've been all over the world. I traveled like all over the world. They're not doing it like this, bro. They ain't putting this down. I'm a
Right. No, I get.
two-time
We
Grammy
have
nominee. I can give you a lesson on this stuff.
I no, I'm from my people's from there. I don't even need school for that. That's the part where my
Who your
people's
people is? Talk to me. Who they
my
is?
people's from Opelousas. But
Oh no,
again,
they
like I
ain't from
told
New
you,
Orleans. They're not from here. Like
yeah,
I'm in New Orleans right now. Like I live this. This is what I do for a living. I'm that kind of musician. But it's not, it's not African based. It's all American based, man. We came from there a long time ago. We had to make our own thing up, man. That's what we did. We had to make something that works for us, by us, on some
I don't take
frugal
away
shit.
from us. I do not take away from us, but I also
yeah, you
don't.
do, nigga. We ran you off
But
the
I
block
don't.
before.
I don't deny other. If people have an input in something, first of all, African and Native American have an input in our stuff. It just doesn't come out of nowhere.
No,
Our
it
stuff
ain't
don't just
no,
come
brother.
out of
No,
nowhere.
no, no. They didn't have an input on this style of music that you talking about. No, they did not. They did not. I'm playing with musicians that go all the way back to the Barbarans, the Andrews. You ever trombone shorty? You ever heard of him? Yeah, I taught him
You
how to
just
play
finished
music.
saying that Africans was playing in Congo Square. Now you saying they didn't have nothing to do with the music in New Orleans?
They don't have nothing to do with this in New Orleans. No,
You are. I don't even know what to say about that.
dude, I
That
do this for
bullshit.
a living, bro. You can't tell me about mine. What I do. I
Brother,
done met
brother
one
Gregory,
African that do this. I'm still
brother,
waiting on
brother
an
Gregory,
African that do this.
brother Gregory. Not that you need to flex your pedigree on this stage, but if you would just kind of let the brother know.
Basically, this thing started way back when Buddy Bode and them, all before that, even with Kid Creole and all them. They was your Passon Blondes. Buddy Bowden was pretty much like on the darker side. So it was challenges between them. And by the way, Louis Armstrong learned from Buddy Bowden. That's how this music started traveling, because Louis Armstrong took it around the world. That's when Pop stayed on Dumaine. I stayed 2509 Dumaine. Like, I live in this area, brother. I could tell you anything you want to know about it. But Africans doing it? No.
That's fine. Well, where my mother's from, it's the influence of those things, but it's an American. We have our stamp on it, and it has evolved into what we have made it. That's what it is. But I'm saying that it
But it
has a
wasn't
foundation.
infused by by not African. No, it
Okay, well,
wasn't.
we'll
No,
agree to
no.
disagree on that.
It's
That's fine.
100% American music, brother.
Let me say this. First off, Shy, we're not agreeing to disagree with anything. Okay, we telling you what it is. There's a big difference. Okay, so what we'll agree on is that we're right and you're wrong, and our brother Gregory just laid it down. Our brother Zilla just laid it down, and we know what you're doing. So we're very familiar with this, where you're trying to weave things in. So I'm not trying to take away from everybody. You really are. Okay, that's like somebody trying to come to your mama and your daddy and trying to tell them, well, I'm kind of really the parent. No, you're not. All right. So, and you talk about your teacher. We got a lot of teachers right here on stage. So maybe your teacher can come and we'll teach your teacher the lessons. Okay, because we don't mind. FBA, we do this all the time, every day, and twice on Sundays. Okay, and it's Thursday, so we'll give it to you 3 times. You understand? So we know what we're talking about. Our brother Gregory just laid it out flat. Brother Zilla laid it out flat. Brother Rich said, this is familiar behavior. You done did this type of stuff before. Foundational Black Americans, we created what we created. We innovated what we innovated. Nobody can tell us different. Your teacher, your teacher's teacher, your teacher's mama's mama's mama. Nobody can do that because we got all the teachers we need in this room. So you're not giving us no lesson. We give the lessons. Okay. The top of the thing says no debate. So we're not debating, we're telling. We ain't just saying, we just telling. So mark that down, write that down. As Chris Tucker says, take a picture. We don't give a fuck. We letting you know what time it is. And I'm going to let the family go ahead and work. We're going to go ahead and get you off the stage, family. So it was cool. And I'm going to let the family respond to this dude off stage because he's not going to really debate with us. That's just not happening. So I'm going to go through the hands. Everybody can go ahead and respond to dude because y'all know he's going to listen. So just treat it like he's still here. And let's go ahead and give him a foundational Black American lesson where we don't go back and forth. We tell him like it is. Brother Sage, I think you was up first and we'll go right through the rest.
Thank you, brother. Okay, again, this is your fault, brother Alpha. Okay, because you the one that said, ain't no tethers in here." You called on the tethers, and they came. I want to debunk some lies that this young man was just talking about. For one, yes, Brother Zilla said it true. Hip hop started in New York. I don't know where the influence of Africa came in, sir. Hip hop is not influenced in no way through Africa. Hip hop is an influence, it's an amalgamation of a lot of different music forms that came up from jazz, blues, all country, all of that is amalgamated into hip hop. Hip hop is based off of basically one man, which is Jim Brown, sir. Hip hop is not based off of some shit that happened in C0NGO, okay? That's for one. For two, you said Louis Armstrong is from the Congo or his parents, whatever. We come from the Congo, sir. You don't know who I am. But one of my close friends, his name is Karan Tyrell. He's related to Louis Armstrong. Actually, that's his great uncle. And in no way of his family line. And speaking of, Louis Armstrong's mother is from Georgia. She's not even from Louisiana, sir. So I don't know where you come from with C0NGO, because Louis Armstrong, again, his bloodline is not, maybe through slavery, yes, but his grandmother was a slave, sir, on this land, sir. So I don't know where you got that lie from. I don't know what your people are telling you. And again, I can call my boy 5 minutes from now and get all this information that you need about specifically Louis Armstrong because he's related to the man. That's for two. For three, my father is also from Louisiana, sir. Holly Grove, to be exact. Brother Greg, let me know if that is within the district of Louisiana because, again, I'm not from there, but my father is from Louisiana. Again, sir, my father used to play blues and jazz growing up.
My mom lives in Holly Grove. You're right.
Thank you, sir. I will be down there, sir. This is something that's uniquely in America. If it came from C0NGO, why don't they still do it in C0NGO, sir? And again, the jazz and the blues music, I've never heard a version of that coming from C0NGO. So again, this music came from slavery, sir. This is something that we grew up over time playing to get time passed in those fields, sir. That's something that, people from C0NGO would not know about, sir. So again, I'm trying to keep this as respectful as possible. Brother Alpha, this is on you. I am blaming you. Now you owe us that space about Michael Jackson. Thank you for getting him out the paint. I want to thank everyone before. I don't know who said it, but before they dealt with this before. You have to get these people up out the paint. Do not let these people steal our culture. If we lose our culture here, we will not have a culture to look forward to in the future. Please, family, let's not lose our culture. This is the problem in a nutshell. They're trying to steal our culture. Do you not see this? Damn. So yes, I reiterate what I said about, like my brother Zilla said 2 hours ago. Michael Jackson is the king of music, sir. He is the king of music, sir. Okay. Yes, I have much respect for all of the people that came. Whitney Houston, Marvin Gaye. We love all of our people. Yes, they all are kings and queens in their own right. But even if you asked Whitney, Marvin, they would tell you Michael Jackson is the king of music. And with that, I digress.
Hey, since dude's still listening, I'm gonna go through every single person, every single hand, and we gonna cook him and give an FBA lesson because apparently he don't know what he's talking about. Apparently he needs one. Next hand I seen up, I'm gonna go Brother Afro, then I'm gonna go with John, then I'm gonna go with one, I'm gonna go with Lance, I'm gonna go with Don, Rich, Gregory. Matter of fact, Afro, before you go, Gregory, go ahead and finish cooking them, man, because you was cooking them anyway. I want to sit back and go ahead and listen to you cook some more, family. So go ahead and give that guy, the rest of the lesson that you was giving him.
Oh, I was cooking for real. I was really cooking in the kitchen, but I'm gonna come back and just say a couple of things. Like, honest to God, man, I played with like one of the late great Danny Barker, right? This man was live and kicking when Louis Armstrong was kicking. They never told us nothing about Africa. They always told us about this music, church hymns. When the saints go marching in, that's one of the first songs you're gonna learn. That's a church hymn. Didn't he ramble? That's the thing you play after when the upbeat come, when you start second line and to cut the body loose, to to let them know that they're going into a better place. There's no way in the world. I don't know. Say, man, that man just said it, bro. That brother just said it. They're really trying to take our culture. I'm one of the culture barriers here in the city right now. They're really trying to take our culture, man. We got to say, man, I got something on the stove. I just want y'all to know that dude right. They're trying to take our culture, man. We got to gatekeep this thing, bro. Because if we lose our culture, we're going to lose everything. I got to go back to cooking. I love y'all.
One love, brother. Hey, he got something on the stove cooking, and we got a tether on the stove, and we cooking him too. Brother Afro, go ahead, family.
Okay, first thing I want to say. Okay, you guys can hear me, right?
Sorry about
Got
that.
you, brother.
Sorry about that, brother.
Okay, cool. First thing I want to say is I want to ask a question. Tell me why I went to the store real quick just to pick one thing up. And in the store, they were playing Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror. Like, that's how iconic he is. Like, they play him, like, everywhere, anywhere and everywhere. But I want to say I ran into the Shaw guy before. He was in MySpace when I was talking about what is Black American culture. And he said Black American culture came from Pan-Africanism. FBA culture came from Pan-Africanism. And I had to, debunk that. And I see him a lot in the FBA's a hate group spaces. He claims he's a Black American, but he's always in the FBA's a hate group spaces. Everything we do is tied to Pan-Africanism, and the true way is Pan-Africanism. And you know what? At this point, if you're a Pan-Africanist, okay, fine. Just keep your beliefs to yourself, because over here, that's not how we get down. Don't try to force your Pan-Africanist beliefs on us. You can just keep that to yourself. We're not trying to convert people from Pan-Africanism. We call out the flaws of Pan-Africanism, then we keep it pushing. We're not in their spaces trying to harass them about, no, this is why you shouldn't be Pan-Africanist. We don't go in their spaces try to mess with them, but they're always coming in our spaces trying to preach to us about Pan-Africanism. And this is one of the things that I can't stand, because he's always contributing our culture from my space and now Black Alpha space, our culture to Pan-Africanism or to the Congo or to Africa, but he never tells about the influence that our culture has had on their culture. If you guys didn't know, the guitar was actually invented by a foundational Black American. So any music that has anything to do with the guitar is attributed to foundational Black American music. But you don't hear people going around saying that Bob Marley was inspired by FBA music, which is a historical fact. But all of the music that we get is always, well, you guys actually got that from someplace else. Culture is contributed to somebody else. You guys have been influenced by somebody else, but they never say that the other way around. And if we actually know the true history of music and the true history of art and culture, most of our art, culture, history, inventions, that was influential on all of the other people's culture, history, and music. So it's actually the other way around while he's trying to preach it to us in the reverse. And he does that often. I see him around trying to do that often. So we got to be aware of people like that. And I don't fully believe that he's FBA. He's full FBA. I don't believe that. And I land there.
Could his new name be Shanice and not Shah? Shanice?
Hey, and the FBA history lesson continues. I told him, bring your teacher's mama's mama up in here, and we're going to teach them too. Zilla, I wanted you to go, and then John, and then we're going to bring Lance and Warren. Everybody going to talk. We're going to give them a real FBA history lesson because apparently they need one. We're going to give it to them. Go ahead, Zilla, because everybody's DMing me telling them Zilla was cooking. Go ahead, bro.
Well, you know, my thing with that type of thing is he's always going to try to shoehorn something in. And again, he came in not really on a musician, and everybody from our ilk, we kind of you know when you talking to another musician, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you know when you can literally kind of hear when this person has an extensive credential. Like, you know, I just know by what certain people could say. And then he's talking about his teacher. So then again, he's not owning his position. He's trying to take a position while blaming his teacher. That's a very cowardly way of doing things, which screams of tether. So when I see stuff like that, it's, oh, okay. Let me see what he's going to get his little spiel out, because he's going to try to interject. Oh, it's the Congo. What have we just witnessed about this recent shooting down there in Atlanta? All of a sudden, are you trying to sit up here and start tying us to Congo?
Hey, Zilla, family. You got hey, you got to say it like Sage said. Hey, Sage, how you call that? The Congo? You got to give it to us, brother.
The Congo. The Congo. And then the weak ass comparison to the well, this is named the square. Well, I mean, it's Congo Square. What about, you think them white folks down there was actually thinking of Congo so much that they wanted to pay homage to their slaves? The hell is wrong with this dude? Another sign that he's a tether. Because yeah, that lets me know that you really do not know white supremacy. Because think of the things that were going on down there in Louisiana, and then he's talking about the history of Louisiana. You know, the French owned it for some time, right? Another sign that this person was not born in the United States. So, you know, when you see these type of individuals coming on out here, out the woodworks, trying to, we're a hate group and this and that, all we're doing right here today is celebrating our own culture. And what did he have to come do? Come up as a jealous, tethering hater and insert himself, and then try to insert a whole different country into our foundation. And it's going to tell us, because he's going to try to skip over gospel. Notice that's their only way of grafting themselves in. They have to cut out the gospel part, but you don't get blues without gospel. So blues and jazz are stemming from that 1 and 2. And let's keep it a buck. Them folks do not emphasize the 1 and 2. There is no funk in the continent of Africa unless it is influenced by the funk of foundational Black Americans. And with that being said, on to the next head, brother.
Brother Warren, I want you to go, family.
Black Alpha, can I just say this real quick?
Appreciate it.
His new name is Shanice, and his pronouns is she and they.
Yes, indeed, Brother Warren. Go ahead, keep giving that FBA lesson.
Hold on, y'all. I'm in New York, so you hear the fire truck. Hold on.
All y'all in New York be having sirens in the background. Damn. Go ahead, Brother Lance.
Yeah, I just want to tell that brother something. Is he familiar with the Jubilee, since we've been doing it since like the 1940s? If you guys know about those with Pygmy Marco and all them boys been rap. It wasn't considered hip hop and rap, but when you listen to the lyrics, they were pretty much doing exactly what we're doing now. When you really break the shit down, and I heard the little slick shit he said about, and I'm not trying to denigrate no West Indian coach and everything, because I know they got their own thing and everything. no disrespect, because I'm cool with a lot of Caribbeans, West Indies, and all that stuff. But I heard the little slick shit he says that the Caribbeans came in and then created the hip hop and FBAs or that whatever you want to call it, quote unquote. That's what he said. Oh, we had a little touch in it. I'm like, whoa, you got that backwards, my brother. You got that backwards. And I'm gonna say brother in quotes, in a sense like that, because I'm like, hold on. You want to talk about no. You got that because they try to run with this narrative. Oh, Busta Rhymes talk about, oh yeah, Cool Herc came over here and everything and flipping the brakes and all sorts of stuff. But there's a guy, y'all all need to check this guy. His name is it's Wayne, Michael Wayne TV. He really breaks this shit down on who actually created the hip hop. So, and I cannot wait to Tariq actually to really clear the air with all this bullshit, because you got people like DJ Pete Jones and all them boys was been doing that shit since the early 70s, before even Kool Herc was even trying to do that. Remember, Kool Herc, when he came over here, he was not trying to be no DJ, anything like that. He adopted the culture of the FBA. He actually come in and actually talk like, I got to find out how to dress and everything, all this old shit. He adopted all of our shit, and I'm not disrespecting no Caribbeans like that, because I get it. I know he tried to do a little grandfather clause and try to shoehorn his shit into it, and he's not Caribbean, but I'm just saying he's trying to make it all encompassing of that everything derived out of Africa. Understand something, family. When we came out of Africa, the 3% that came out of Africa, and then when they amalgamated with the indigenous folks that was already in the land from the white supremacists being enslaved, we created an entirely different culture. So what he's talking about is way beyond what it is right now. In the reality, it's not that's not what it is right now. So he's trying to say, oh yeah, that's a Congolese thing, as my brother said, that the Congo and all that. I'm like, no, brother, we're not trying to denigrate your people and everything. You have your culture over here, but you didn't start anything in this country. Everything that, like I said earlier, when we was talking about, and I'm mad this shit went left, because we was actually talking about our brother Michael Jackson. All of a sudden, this guy came in with this bullshit. So we got to give him a lesson, like you said, an FBA lesson. We got to let him know what it is.
Lance, do me one favor. I'm so sorry to cut you off. Brother Alpha, I have the relative of Louis Armstrong on the phone. Can he say a couple words right now? I told you I was going to call him. Karan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Can you tell him exactly? Tell me, sorry, please.
I'm on mute.
So my name is Karan. My father's name is Charles. His full name is actual Charles Louis Armstrong Tyrell. Louis Armstrong is my great uncle. That's
okay. Is Louis Armstrong okay? Does your family run through the Congo?
I have no family from the bloodline of Congo. From the Congo.
Okay, where are they from, if you mind me asking?
My family is from here, foundationally from here. Like all of my family date back to here. I have a lot of Caucasian in my family, actually, and we kind of all understand why that is. But all of my family is from here, from the South. I have family, in Louisiana, where Louis Armstrong is from. Primarily, my family is from Baltimore, Maryland, and then spread through many other states in the South.
Also, do you have photos that you can back this up with?
Oh, absolutely. I have photos of Louis Armstrong when he was little boy, with my great grandfather and other family members.
Okay. I want to thank you again, brother. Love as always. Do you guys have any questions? You guys got any questions on stage here for this brother?
Yo, Q, what's up, Q? I just wanted to say.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of questions, dude. We got a family member, but we need the questions.
Never been on this before. It's kind of interesting.
Man, I appreciate the time, man. Thank you for giving us the moment of your time. I appreciate it.
I love my family. You know what I mean? And if we're not proud of where we come from, then
yes,
we might as well just fall right now.
Thank you so much. Somebody was here trying to misrepresent y'all's bloodline and your lineage, and they were trying to tie y'all to the Congo, and they said they came up with a whole story that once there was the grandmother of great grandmother of Louis Armstrong said, "Don't you ever forget that Your roots go back to the Congo.
What?
And is that story true?
Why would somebody make that up? Like, that makes no sense. Like, my family has always been from the South. Like, my dad's side of the family, my mom's side of the family is actually from the South as well. You know, and I'm proud that, you know, I have someone in my life who is historic, you know, like we will never forget where my family is from. We're from the South. We are not from the Congo. I have zero bloodline to the Congo.
Brother Alpha, you got anything, brother?
I'm just over here tripping, man, because you want to talk about some FBA receipts. We got FBA receipts on the Twitter space, on the phone, through the cell phone, calling in. I'm just sitting back enjoying. Anybody else got some questions? I'm just sitting back and loving this FBA lesson that we're giving to everybody. Y'all go ahead and continue, brother.
Question, bro. How do you feel that a lot of people are starting to deny the roots of slavery from the South, and how much it influenced your people? How much it influenced your family, and how much it influenced Southern music that spread out through the country?
So, one, music has been in my family's bloodline for tracing back before Louis Armstrong, but, you know, it just doesn't make sense to me. You know, like, we can sit here and argue about who's this and who's that or whatever, but don't debate who my family is. You know, like, that's different. Talk about yourself if that's the case. If you want to be not this or not that or whatever the case is, but my family does not come from the Congo. I'm proud of who I am. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with anybody from there. More power to you. If that's where you're from, fine. But that's not where my family's from.
And how much was you know what I'm saying? How do you see the southern roots of the southern roots of, say, like Louis Armstrong, that he touched on people like Michael Jackson? He really did. You know what I'm saying? The jazz influence, you know what I'm saying? The whole influence of, you know what I'm saying? The 40s jazz music, even the 20s. We can go back then. You know what I'm saying? How much of an influence do you see that your people had with
you're talking about one genre of music, but tell me one genre of music in which jazz hasn't touched.
Correct.
Jazz is a part of every part of music that you can think of. It's not just a specific artist or anything like that. Like, jazz is in the blood of all.
And it didn't come from the goddamn Congo.
No.
It didn't. No. Thank you. Because that was a whole complete lie that homeboy said, and we had to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm sorry for you even having to put that on your ears, homie. You know what I'm saying? I'll land right there.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I got one thing I want to throw in real quick, and everybody who's on the panel is going to laugh. And salute to you, brother. And thanks for the expertise and letting us, know the real contributions of your family and foundational Black Americans. But can I ask you to give me 3 of your favorite Michael Jackson songs?
Oh, shit.
Earth Song is like my number one favorite song. Cry by Michael Jackson. See, I'm not really like in the huge songs, but like Earth Song, Cry by Michael Jackson, and what would be the last one? I mean, I think we could stick with Remember the Time. I think we can stick with Remember the Time.
That's my shit.
Mm. If you haven't heard Earth Song, listen to it today. It's a powerful song.
Q, once again, I want to. You got something for me, Black?
No, that's you, brother. Go ahead, family.
Okay, Q. Once again, I want to thank you. Again, rest up if you're not feeling well.
Yes,
and give me a call when you get a chance. Thank you again. Sorry to bother you with this bullshit, by the way.
No
it's not bullshit because you're speaking to your family.
Thank
obviously, you know that.
Know.
But I'm sorry. You're speaking to your family, meaning FBA family. But I'm sorry to bother you with all of this, about your actual blood.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for clearing and making the record straight. And again, if anyone needs receipts, this brother right here can produce them. You want to see Louis at 6 years old? Not a problem. So if you're gonna come up here and lying about this man's family, this man's family bloodline, about someone that he taught you something. You're speaking to a relative that is still alive today. No, he did not meet Louis Armstrong. No, he did not meet him, but he is still a part of his bloodline. He still has photo albums in his house showing Louis Armstrong. So again, thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, thanks, brother. Holla at you. Now, before I get off, before I go back on mute, I want to say one thing. C0NGO. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, Lance.
Hey, John, go ahead, family.
Yeah, I don't know what Shaw was sitting there talking about, bruh. You know what I'm saying? This nigga literally took all the energy out the room, so I'm gonna just go ahead and slide it back to what we was talking about. I'm gonna exalt his name, Michael Jackson, Michael Joseph Jackson, bruh. You know what I'm saying? We will never have another one of those. It's the king. He's the king of pop. He's the king of music. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to hip hop, bro, all of our music genres here in America, none of that stuff comes from Africa, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even the concept of soul doesn't come from Africa. You know why? Unfortunately, what I'm about to say is going to hurt a lot of feelings, but let's just keep it all the way 100, bro. Africa sold its soul. Africa sold its soul 500 years ago to the
Whoa,
New
that's
World.
big. That's big, homie.
It sold its soul. And now Mama Africa is trying to sit there and lay claim to something that she sold, you know what I'm saying? And sitting there trying to, hold on to something that she sold, trying to lay claim to it. You know what I'm saying? And no, soul is specifically from us. You know, it came through pain, it came through anguish. You know what I'm saying? It came through our bloodshed, our tears, us not having anything. You know what I'm saying? So all of our music, we got to gatekeep it. We need to start disowning and discrediting all of these, you know what I'm saying, these platforms that don't, you know what I'm saying, really understand our culture. You know what I'm saying? We need to be just as aggressive as Dame Dash is when it comes to our culture, how he calls out a lot of these music executives. We need to do that. You know what I'm saying? And I just want y'all to understand how powerful Michael Jackson, even though the man is dead, bro, he's the highest paid selling dead artist right now. He's making $150 million a year, bro. You know what I'm saying? $150 million a year, bro. And he ain't even here. The man gone. He's dead and gone. Been gone for almost damn near 20 years now. You know what I'm saying? And
12 years.
he's still topping the charts. You know what I'm saying? Halloween right around the corner. He gonna be trending. He gonna be trending. You know what I'm saying? So I just want y'all to understand how powerful Michael Jackson is, bro. Like he's the epitome of black excellence. He's the epitome. Of how we should be on code with each other, to utilize our gifts and our talents to bring awareness to producing justice. And again, I just want to say that hip hop is ours, bro. All of this music is ours. We make the card hot out here, bro. When it comes to anything that's popping, we can easily get rid of the DJ Valads and, you know what I'm saying, the no jump. We can easily get rid of them. All we got to do is just discredit them the same way we doing the Democrats. Same way we doing them, we can just discredit them and they'll be gone. You know what I'm saying? And all we got to do is just start creating the platforms ourselves. This is a platform that we on right now. You know what I'm saying? With B-Zilla and y'all, bro, this is our platform now. We're doing everything that it takes now to be able to produce the new media. This is a new media, and therefore the artists aren't going to have any other choice but to come over here, because right now we're setting the ground stage as the foundation for what it is that's to come. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all right now, I done deleted all the Busta Rhymes music, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to disrespect my culture, bro. You're not going to sit there and discredit us and everything like that. I deleted all his music. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta really gatekeep. It's a coup d'etat on the music industry right now, bro. Our culture, we're not going anywhere, bro. We're gonna have to really go to war with all of these people and take back everything that they took from us. And I'll land there.
Lineage,
Facts.
culture, and heritage, brother. Lineage, culture, heritage. And if you talk about anybody within our heritage, then you're talking about all of us. And if one of us regulates somebody, then we all regulated them. That's what it is. I feel exactly what you're saying. They think that they can come in and disrespect, our art forms, and they think they can disrespect things that we've created. They don't understand to do that means you disrespecting all of us. So all that stuff where they be like, man, well, we did this and that and the other thing, they don't understand. Well, and if they don't, they're going to get it. Because like we said, we're giving out FBA lessons however they need it. We understand as a community, as a culture, as a lineage, is that one of us represents all of us. Point blank, period. There's nothing in between.